Hi everyone, and welcome to today's General Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. The trial has started today, so let's get right to it. At Dante's place, Olivia is going to leave again since she can't come clean about the baby, and Dante really doesn't want her to go back into hiding, and then Dante heads off to court. At the courthouse, Julian pleads not guilty and makes bail, surprisingly, and Sunny's at the hearing and decides to lecture Alexis about Julian. Okay. And then Sunny talks to Rick about, what are the advantages of having a brother as a DA if you can't get Julian locked up or you can't, whatever. And I'm like, that's a really weird conversation to have. Like, especially, it kind of convinced me that my theory is, right? That, Sunny's setting Julian up. Because, that's just a weird conversation to have. And outside the courtroom, Franco and Scott are talking, and Scott wants to know why Franco's protecting Nina. And then Nina calls, lo and behold, and Franco tells her the reason Obrecht couldn't help was because Rick took over as district attorney, and Nina's like, oh my goodness, that's really not good. And Nina wants to take full responsibility for the murder, and Franco says that he's confident that he will be acquitted, and Nina didn't do it, so, don't take responsibility for something you didn't do. Opening statements start in the trial, and Scott brings up how he stepped down as district attorney because he couldn't, in a clear conscience, prosecute the case. And I was like, that's a really good point, that if I were a juror, would kind of weigh on my mind. Not to the point where it would definitively say, guilty or not guilty, because that's not allowed, but, just as a considering point. And Mrs. Shipley testifies, and she's way too coached, in my opinion, just saying. And Scott kind of gets to her, and he gets her to admit that she wasn't totally paying attention to the conversation between Silas and Franco, which was a huge point for the defense. Dante testifies, pretty solid testimony, although I don't think it helped either way. He just basically, talked about the bag and how the murder weapon was found on Franco, but, nothing too, this or that compelling. Kiki gets called to the stand. She runs through the happenings the night of the murder, and Scott gets her to say that she doesn't think Franco did it, and that the message has nothing to do with Franco, and she really thinks the key to this whole thing is the message. Oh, that message. If only. If only. At Julian's place, Denise is there, and Ava makes a comment that Julian won't let her run the business if she's stuck being Denise, because she's looking at the headline and thinking this means Julian is definitely back in the business, or he never left the business, although I think he really may be out, I'm just saying. And Obrecht arrives, and Obrecht makes it clear that she knows who Ava is, and threatens to call Kiki and tell her everything if Ava doesn't give it up. So Obrecht tells Ava to turn herself in because it's the right thing to do. And she says, Obrecht says she's going to tell the police about Ava. Then Ava tells Obrecht about the photo, heated argument. Julian walks in. So Obrecht covers. Ava wants her to leave. She leaves. And Julian didn't buy the cover that Obrecht was selling. And he really wants to know what the meeting was really about. And he goes, takes a shower, gets out of the shower. And Denise admits she's Ava. So, this whole thing is pretty much, enough people know. I don't think it's going to matter if she has the photo or not, At Carly's place, Morgan won't help her with the bags, which was just rude. September 2nd is the official wedding date, so just putting it out there. It comes out that Kiki, okay, so this is all, before the trial. I probably should put this before, but it's all before the trial, so Kiki and Morgan are there. It comes out that Kiki has doubts about Franco's guilt, and Carly wants to know why. She's not convinced, and Kiki says she thinks the message Silas left for her was the key to the whole case, and that Franco had nothing to do with that. Carly brings up, okay, so they leave. Sunny comes to her place, and Carly brings up to Sunny the possibility that Morgan is bipolar, and Sunny kind of doesn't want to hear it, but Carly really wants to have this conversation. She runs through the list of all the things Morgan has done, including when Michael got, he punched him in the face, and then Michael fell in the water, and then Morgan just left, which was really bad. And then Sunny blames himself because in his mind, if he passed it down to Morgan, then he feels he's at fault for what Morgan's done. So that's actually a really interesting road for them to take with this whole thing. But in any event, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up button. I have some really cool links down in the description, so definitely check that out. And I will see you tomorrow for more General Hospital. Bye!